Today on the podcast, I want to talk about a really exciting new development, especially for developers in the AI space. And that is that one of the major players, Docker, of course, this is a very, very popular tool among developers. My CTO loves it and has, told me many times of his undying love for Docker. So big shout out to the Docker team. But Docker is diving much deeper into AI with their new developer initiatives. So today on the podcast, I'll be breaking down all the new features and diving into some of the implications of this in, the future of AI, especially for developers with development tools. So let's dive into it. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. Recently at the DockerCon conference in Los Angeles, Docker, the company steering the it's really widely used open source container technology, unveiled a series of very interesting initiatives aimed at empowering developers to construct generative AI applications with, essentially greater ease, making this a lot easier. So let's talk about the rise of Docker's GenAI stack. So a significant highlight from the recent announcement was the introduction of Docker GenAI stack. So this unique concoction essentially integrates Docker with the Neo4j graph database, the LangChain model chaining framework, and Ollama, a platform known for running extensive large language models. So this assembly of tools, according to Docker, is not just for show. The advent of the whole GenAI stack signals a concentrated effort to simplify the previously very difficult process of essentially, setting up containers for GenAI applications. So typical GenAI apps demand several core components. They need a vector database, which is now offered as a feature in the Neo4j's graph database. They need an LLM, which Ollama's platform supplies. And that includes Llama 2, which is on that platform. And then they also need Meta's open source ChatGPT competitor. And then, of course, they need a multi-step process, a space in which essentially LangChain demonstrates its utility. So the GenAI, the Docker CEO, Scott Johnson, recently said, quote, "The GenAI stack is pre-configured and set for action, enabling developers to delve right into coding and experimentation." So I think one of the core ambitions of the Docker GenAI stack is to essentially offer developers and their affiliate enterprises a more intuitive entry point to AI development within the container ecosystem. So Johnson further revealed, of course, the CEO of Docker, that Docker's new offering facilitates various use cases. So among them is the capacity to create a support agent bot enhanced with retrieval augmentation generation. So retrieval augmented generation is also called RAG, and that's essentially the ability for a Python coding assistant and, animated content creation tools, those types of things. So for flexibility, the entire stack is structured to operate on a developer's local system, which, a lot of people are going to be really happy about. And I think while it's made available at no cost as applications expand and, of course, necessitate commercial backing or deployment assistance, Docker and some of its partners have also kind of, put out their hands to provide the necessary support in that area. So let's talk about really Docker AI and how they are empowering developers a little bit further. I think while the market has a ton of stuff going on with GenAI developer tools, of course, there's GitHub Copilot and Amazon Code Whisper. Docker is kind of throwing its hat in the ring with Docker AI. So abandoning the increasingly, everyone's using the words Copilot pretty much. And Docker is not going in that direction. They've essentially created their own offering as a mech suite. So this rebranding alludes to the amplification of power and also capability that it's giving to its developers right now. So Docker AI's, all of this is kind of stemming from its training on Docker's exclusive data, including Docker files, component files, and a whole bunch of error logs, which is kind of funny. But really, I think this ensures that the tool is seamlessly woven into developers' workflows. Whenever errors emerge, Docker AI is ready to suggest potential rectifications directly with the development and right inside of the development environment. So this gives developers really the luxury of trialing fixes before they actually cement them in place. I think while tools like GitHub Copilot have really kind of carved a niche for themselves, Johnson really wanted to underline the fact that Docker AI's unique selling points is its specialized focus on container development, saying, quote, "Our tool benefits from a proprietary Docker data stream that other LLMs simply can't access." So I think there's definitely a bright horizon for Docker. Their latest venture kind of underscores their commitment to, I think, remaining a critical pillar in the modern development landscape. And the company's endeavors to really center developers are evidently having a bunch of, dividends. In a nod to this success, their CEO recently said, quote, "For the past 4 years, Stack Overflow's developer community has crowned us the most coveted and adored developer tool. Presently, we are elated to serve 20 million monthly active developers worldwide." I think, honestly, that's pretty impressive. 20 million monthly active developers is a huge feat. I think in the fast evolving kind of AI development arena, Docker's strategic moves in this whole space, I think, are really going to push its reputation forward as kind of an indispensable tool for developers globally. It's going to be really exciting to see the way some of these AI tools shift and, evolve in the future. But I think Docker has a really awesome set of tools that they've come out with here.
At Intel, world-changing ideas start with real solutions, and real solutions start with exceptional engineering. The quantum computing revolution, the next generation of AI experts, the renewable energy grid, early diagnosis for cancer. The examples are countless. The impacts are endless. But the foundation is always the same. It starts with Intel. Learn more at intel.com/stories.
Hey, do you know what Snapdragon is? Snapdragon is the processor that makes awe-inspiring photos and immersive mobile gaming possible. Whether you're shooting video of your favorite sports team, taking selfies at a party, or fighting your way through digital battlegrounds in the palm of your hand, Snapdragon gives you the power to move. Experience extraordinary with Snapdragon in the all-powerful Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra smartphone.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.